are back to talk more about coping with difficult adult children. And this week we're going to touch on elder abuse. A very serious topic and a little scary when you hear some of the statistics I'm about to share with you. First one, up to 5 million older Americans are abused every year. Now, the information I'm sharing with you comes from the National Council on Aging, and we'll put a link to this article in the notes so you can go look at it for yourself and click through and read more in depth if you want to. So along with 5 million older Americans being abused, listen to the financial cost of that. The victims of financial abuse, the loss for those victims is estimated to be at least $36.5 billion. That's a lot of money that's lost to fraud and people taking advantage of older Americans. What is elder abuse? There are several types of abuse, and be aware if you're in one of these categories, get some help, okay? Call 911, call a counselor, call a trusted friend, a pastor, someone who can help you. But here are some of the issues that come up in elder abuse. First one is physical, and we all know what that means. Just, being beaten, bruised, harm, injury being perpetrated upon someone. Sexual abuse, emotional abuse, verbal assaults and threats, confinement, not necessarily one you'd think of off the top of your head, but if you're not being allowed to go out in public, you're not being allowed to participate in normal activities that you would, that might be confinement. What about passive neglect? Someone failing to provide for needs that you have. Willful deprivation, also denying medication or medical care, therapeutic devices or other physical assistance. And then finally, financial exploitation that we mentioned where the great loss has come in. So those are some of the ways that elders are abused. Here's another statistic. Who is typically the abuser? And in almost 60% of the cases, it's a family member. That is sad. But it's just something we need to be aware of and watch for and find ways to get help if we need it. What makes an older adult vulnerable to abuse? Typically, there's two real determining factors. One is social isolation. So, being separated apart from friends and family members who can help, and then mental impairment. And unfortunately, that's one of the things that some of us end up dealing with. I pray not to have to deal with that myself, and I pray for you that you don't either, because it's probably one of the hardest things I've seen in families. How can we prevent elder abuse? I thought this article had some great suggestions. First off, take care of your health. Your best defense is if you're strong and healthy and able to take care of yourself, mentally able and not going to be taken advantage of. So take care of yourself for starting. Seek professional help if you've got drug, alcohol, or depression concerns. Get the help you need and get rid of some of those issues if at all possible. Attending support groups for spouses and learning about domestic violence can be a way to avoid some elder abuse. Planning for your own future. Now, this is a really great suggestion. And I know this because this has been my profession. As elder law attorneys, my husband and I have helped a lot of people plan for the circumstance where they are not able to care for themselves because of either mental or physical disabilities, illnesses, age-related, you name it, you can put the plans in place and the legal documentation so that the person of your choice is the one who takes care of you, not someone who has evil intentions. So plan ahead. Here's one I had not thought of. Avoid some of the abuse potential by posting and opening your own mail. You need to know what's coming and going or what's happening with your finances. And it's nice if you have somebody that can help you with that and you trust them. But it's one area that is fraught with the possibility of some evil doing going on. Somebody stealing checks or finding out account numbers so they can remove money from accounts. Don't give personal information over the phone. Oh my goodness, there are so many phone call scams anymore, and you just have to hang up. You know, if you don't recognize the number, don't pick it up, or else if they start down some path where, you know, the IRS is after you or you're going to be arrested if you don't give them a credit card right now, those are scam calls. Just hang up and don't fall into those traps. And then using direct deposit for all checks, that's a good way to avoid some financial fraud. And having your own phone. This is really important because you're much less likely to be isolated if you can communicate with the outside world or call for help. So just some thoughts on elder abuse. It is an issue in our culture. We in the gray hair crowd are vulnerable sometimes, and we need to pay attention and take care of ourselves as best we can to avoid being a victim of abuse. Like I said, we'll put the link to this article in the notes, and you'll be able to go dig a little deeper if you want more information. Be grand, my friend.